From the picture of health actor dying at the age of 32 from seemingly nothing, to a shocking revelation made 40 years after the icon's death. Here's everything on Jackie Chan, revealing Bruce Lee's real cause of death. Everyone on the face of the planet knows who Bruce Lee is. The Chinese-American actor and martial artist is often credited with paving the way for other Asian actors in Hollywood, plus introducing the world to Jeet Kune Do, his own martial arts philosophy that drew inspiration from Wing Chun, Tai Chi, boxing, and street fighting. Lee had worked his way up from being a child star to becoming one of the most familiar faces in Hollywood, even to this day. And that's really saying something, since the actor's been dead for over 50 years. That's right, the man long believed to be the picture of health was found unresponsive at a friend's house in 1973. Doctors were called, Lee was taken to a hospital, and honestly, everyone thought he'd pull through. We're talking about Bruce Lee here. Fists of Fury, Enter the Dragon, Game of Death. That Bruce Lee. But no, the actor was pronounced dead on arrival, which shocked the whole world. Not just because the man was in peak physical health, but he was only 32 years old. And you know what happens when an actor dies at a young age? Yep, the conspiracy theories came flooding in. He would have been 83 years old in 2023, and I'm willing to bet he'd still be able to take down anyone half his age. Unfortunately, we never got to see that happen. Lee was found unresponsive at a colleague's house, former Taiwanese actress Betty Ting Pei, by director Raymond Chow, who went to check up on Lee, after Betty claimed he'd taken a few painkillers and excused himself for a while to take a nap. Now, as I said, Lee's death rocked the entire world. People weren't just willing to believe he'd died because of a few painkillers. That sounded too easy, you know? I'll go over a few of the more popular conspiracy theories in a while. But for now, let's talk about what Jackie Chan had to say about his friend's death. In 2017, Jackie was a guest on the popular talk show Sway's Universe, where the whole premise of the episode was, how did Bruce Lee die? Jackie talked about working with Lee back when he was just getting into acting, and Lee had already established himself as a force in the industry. The Rush Hour star was all praises for his late friend. He said that Lee was hardworking, humble, kind, and definitely one heck of an actor. But everyone knows how great Lee was. That's not what the show brought him on to talk about. No, they wanted the juicy details on what killed his late friend. So the host starts off by asking Chan if he knew what people were saying. Jackie looked confused and asked what people in the West believed. That's when the host claimed that everyone here believed the Triads were involved. For those of you who don't know, the Triads is a criminal syndicate from China with people working for them all around the world. Apparently, Bruce's untimely death sparked a very popular conspiracy theory that he'd gotten into business with the criminal organization, failed to hold up his end of the bargain, and they just killed him. Or that Bruce had brutally beaten the son of the Triad boss during a street fighting competition, and they were out for blood. When the host asked Jackie about it, you should have seen it. He looked confused, like how are people even coming up with this stuff? That's when the host talked about another popular theory, the one where a family curse finally came for Bruce. Okay, so get this. Bruce was born in the year of the dragon and at the hour of the dragon, which was a big deal. Still, though, his parents usually referred to him as Little Phoenix at home, which in Chinese refers to a girl's name. Now, why's that? Because apparently, Bruce's parents had lost a son a little while before he was born, and according to ancient tradition, you have to refer to your next son as a girl to confuse the spirits, otherwise they'd come and take the other son away too. Now, referring to Bruce by a girl's name at home would have been okay, but it was a lot harder to explain ancient Chinese tradition to Hollywood, which is why Bruce probably thought the curse was either over with or just not something to give any thought to. Guess that wasn't the way to go about it. Or maybe everyone's just overthinking this, right? Because when the host played with the idea of a family curse coming for Lee, Jackie laughed. Honestly, the actor's surprised at all the conspiracy theories surrounding Bruce Lee's death. Jackie told the host that it was funny how people were trying to turn Bruce's death into a whole scandal when it really wasn't the case at all. He said he wasn't aware of all the Hollywood gossip and that people back home in Hong Kong knew the real story. What's that? Death by misadventure. I mean, Jackie didn't say that outright, but he did say that everything written on his autopsy report was all true, and that's what was written in his autopsy. So, what even is death by misadventure? Okay, so I get how the Fists of Fury's star's death might have sparked a few conspiracy theories, but if you look back at the facts of the case, it might not be as scandalous as you thought, or frankly had hoped for. The thing is, on the day of his death, Bruce had been complaining of an intense headache, much like the one he'd been complaining of just a few months ago during an automated audio replacement. For Enter the Dragon, Bruce collapsed after complaining of headaches and started having seizures. He was rushed to the hospital, where doctors confirmed the actor had a case of cerebral edema, which is basically like having your brain tissues swell up. Now, they administered treatment back then, and Bruce was back to being the picture of health in just a few days. Until June 1973, when he complained of the same headaches again and was given a painkiller that contained meprobamate. Let me define death by misadventure here. It's when your cause of death is by something you've assumed the risk for. So, an allergic reaction. According to Chow, who found Lee unconscious and unresponsive, the actor had an allergic reaction to meprobamate. Okay, so it might be interesting to note that Jackie said he died at a friend's house, but he didn't explicitly mention the friend, even though Betty Ting's a popular actress. Do you think Jackie blames Betty for Bruce Lee's death? He wouldn't be the only one, honestly. The fact is, she was the one who gave him the painkiller. The whole thing got even messier when Chow told the press that Bruce had died at his home with his wife beside him and didn't mention Betty at all. What was that all about? Guys, it just keeps getting messier and messier from this point. Back then, Betty told the press that Chow was just trying to protect her or his film honestly, since she had a lead role in it, and an actress on trial for manslaughter wouldn't be appreciated by the public. That, plus the fact that everyone would just assume the usual. Bruce and Betty were having an affair. Were they, though? According to the actress, yes, they were. But according to his wife, Linda Emery, Betty's delusional. On the 40th anniversary of Bruce's death, Betty Ting made a shocking revelation. After years and years of speculation, Betty finally came clean. She was having an affair with Bruce. Still, though, she denied being intimate with the guy on the day of his actual death. Betty said she'd reveal everything in her book, The Best Time with Bruce Lee. Now, a lot of people said that they saw this coming, but a lot more actually believed that Betty was still hiding something. You see, at the time of his death, she claimed they'd been at it for a few years, while Bruce had welcomed another child with Linda not too long before his death, which either disproves Betty's claims of an affair or just intensifies it because, look, this might suggest that Lee had either told Betty he wasn't going to start an affair with her or that he wouldn't leave his family for her, ever. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, right? So a lot of people believe Betty, fueled by jealousy, killed Bruce Lee. Yet another rumor actually claims that she'd been dating a member of the Triad at the time, and he'd been the one to encourage her to give him the painkiller, since Bruce apparently had beef with everyone. In the comments from his Sway's Universe interview, a few fans actually noted how Jackie looked angry when he talked about Bruce Lee's friend, and how he just rolled over the whole thing without ever mentioning Betty by name. Maybe he didn't like her profiting from his death, maligning his name. Or maybe he truly believed she was the one who killed him. So, from a shocking revelation made 40 years after his death, to the picture of health dying at the age of 32 from seemingly nothing, this was everything on Jackie Chan revealing the real reason for Bruce Lee's death.